Russia's quiet revolution. How the Moskvich 3E could reshape the entire EV world. While Tesla and BYD dominate headlines, something unexpected brews quietly in Russia that could reshape the entire EV landscape, and nobody saw it coming. Russia, a country often painted as outdated in tech innovation, might just have thrown the biggest curveball into the electric vehicle race. The question is, can a nation often dismissed by the tech elite truly disrupt Tesla and BYD's dominance? Before we dive deeper, make sure you hit subscribe, because the real EV revolution might just start from the place nobody expected. Russia's silent EV rebirth. How Moskvich 3E emerged. While the world was busy chasing headlines, something revolutionary was brewing in Russia's frozen heartlands. No loud claims, no flashy presentations, just a silent resurrection of an abandoned Renault factory in Moscow. While Silicon Valley obsesses over flying cars and autopilot glitches, Russia focused on creating something the average person desperately wants: a strong, affordable, reliable EV. The Moskvich 3E isn't just another car, it is the embodiment of practical engineering. Built under the harsh realities of Russian roads and climates, it is quietly positioning itself to shock the world. In the final months of 2022, while the world's eyes were glued to Tesla's autopilot lawsuits and BYD's marketing blitz, a dedicated team in Moscow was reviving old machinery, repurposing old ideas, and breathing new life into Russian automotive dreams. There were no viral videos, no billion-dollar campaigns, just results. And as the Moskvich 3E rolled off production lines, many had to ask, was this the sleeper threat no one anticipated? Crushing the price barrier, Tesla, BYD, and now Moskvich. What if the greatest threat to Tesla and BYD wasn't another tech titan, but a silent disruptor for Moscow? Tesla built an empire on innovation, but kept it out of reach for the everyday buyer. BYD made EVs more accessible, but still priced many models out of the reach of a global middle class grappling with inflation. Into this imbalance stepped Moskvich 3E, an SUV-sized EV priced at nearly half the cost of a Tesla Model 3 or a BYD Seal. Offering an impressive range of 400 to 500 kilometers, practical design, and rapid DC fast charging capabilities, the Moskvich 3E shattered the myth that solid EV performance required luxury pricing. Customers worldwide, especially in emerging markets like India, Africa, and Eastern Europe, now had an alternative that didn't involve drowning in debt. Affordability wasn't Moskvich's only weapon. It delivered this at a moment when global economic conditions made high-end purchases harder to justify. In a battle between technological vanity and practical value, could a simpler, sturdier EV win the loyalty of millions? Russian engineering, built for the world's toughest roads. When engineering meets survival, the result isn't just innovation, it's unstoppable resilience. The DNA of the Moskvich 3E was forged not in sterile labs, but in real-world survival. Russian roads, icy, cracked, unforgiving, became the ultimate test tracks. Every aspect of the vehicle was designed for resilience. 193 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration in under 8 seconds, and a construction style that favored strength over style. While Tesla continues to bet heavily on self-driving dreams and BYD pushes futuristic battery tech, the Moskvich 3E reminds us that not every driver wants to be a passenger in a science experiment. Some simply need a vehicle that starts every morning, endures brutal conditions, and asks for little in return. Could this rugged practicality, born out of necessity rather than luxury, be the true next big thing in an EV world increasingly detached from the real needs of real people? Quick thought. If you had to choose between rugged reliability and flashy technology, which would you pick? Let us know in the comments below. A new global power, multipolar EV future? What happens when the global EV game board suddenly adds a new, unexpected player? The global EV market, once a two-horse race between the United States and China, now faces a disruptive new challenger. Russia's Moskvich 3E could tip the balance, especially in regions overlooked by mainstream EV makers. Countries craving affordable, durable vehicles, where incomes are modest but ambitions are high, could embrace this rugged newcomer. If Moskvich scales production efficiently and navigates global logistics smartly, Tesla and BYD won't just be competing with each other, they'll be facing a multipolar world where brand prestige matters less than value and reliability. And what would Donald Trump say about all this? In an era where he emphasizes American strength and industrial revival, how might he react to a quiet Russian resurgence challenging the tech titans he so often criticized? The strategic ripple effect, beyond just EVs. Could one rugged EV trigger a global shift in how nations view innovation and independence? The emergence of the Moskvich 3e signals more than just an automotive comeback. It represents a broader shift in global technological competition. By producing a durable, affordable, and widely accessible EV, Russia is challenging the very foundations of how the world views innovation. It is not just about creating a cheaper car. It is about redefining technological sovereignty, resilience, and national pride. Psychology of EV buyers. A quiet shift in priorities. Global buyers are evolving. They are growing tired of exaggerated marketing claims and futuristic promises that rarely deliver in everyday life. More consumers now seek practicality, cost efficiency, and durability over brand prestige. The Moskvich 3e fits perfectly into this new psyche. It offers real-world functionality instead of speculative features. In this emerging world, reputation will not be built on concept car showcases, but on who delivers the most value per dollar. Moskvich 3e versus Tesla Model 3 versus BYD Dolphin, a reality check. Tesla's Model 3 shines in innovation and brand cachet, but at a hefty price tag. While BYD's Dolphin offers affordability but struggles with brand recognition outside Asia, Moskvich 3e offers a middle path, robust reliability at an accessible price. With a practical 400 to 500 kilometers range and faster DC charging times, it competes not through luxury, but through solid everyday usability. As economic headwinds batter consumers worldwide, Moskvich's bet on substance over style could prove transformative. The geopolitical implications. A threat to the status quo. A strong Russian entry into the EV sector complicates an already strained geopolitical landscape. Western nations may find themselves needing to adjust trade policies as Moskvich vehicles gain traction. Meanwhile, emerging economies will benefit from having an alternative supplier outside the US-China spectrum. This dynamic may force Tesla and BYD to innovate faster, reduce prices, and compete more vigorously than ever before. The Moskvich 3e could, unintentionally, accelerate innovation worldwide. Long-term strategy. Russia's vision for energy transition. Russia, long reliant on fossil fuels, is pivoting. The Moskvich 3e is symbolic of a deeper strategic realignment, an effort to secure relevance in a decarbonizing world. As global oil demand plateaus and declines over the next 2 decades, having a stake in the EV future ensures Russia remains economically viable. Whether Moskvich succeeds or not, the message is clear. Russia intends to be more than just a raw resource exporter in the 21st century. Challenges ahead for Moskvich 3e, scaling beyond borders. However, success is far from guaranteed. Breaking into international markets requires more than just building a durable car. Logistics, after-sales service, regulatory compliance, and building brand trust are monumental challenges. Western sanctions, negative perceptions, and lack of a global dealership network could hinder Moskvich's growth outside of Russia-friendly territories. Overcoming these hurdles will determine whether Moskvich 3e remains a domestic success story or becomes a truly global player. The consumer mindset shift, value over prestige. As economic realities tighten budgets across continents, consumer preferences are shifting. Shiny tech features and brand prestige are losing ground to practical considerations like reliability, maintenance costs, and total cost of ownership. Moskvich's no-nonsense approach taps into this growing sentiment. If marketed cleverly, it could transform how EVs are perceived, moving them from status symbols to essential tools for daily life. Final thoughts: is the next EV revolution already here? Tesla and BYD still dominate today's headlines, but there's a growing sense that the future might not belong solely to those with the flashiest gadgets or the loudest marketing campaigns. Somewhere in the silent factories of Moscow, a revolution simmers, one that values practicality over prestige, endurance over embellishment. In a world reeling from economic uncertainty, perhaps it's not the next flying car that people crave, but a solid, reliable, affordable ride. A car that speaks to the soul of the average person, not just the dreams of the elite. As you ponder the future of electric vehicles, ask yourself, when historians write about the EV revolution, will the true game changer be the ones we cheered loudly for, or the one we barely noticed, building quietly under gray Moscow skies? If this silent revolution for Moscow makes you rethink the future of EVs, let us know. Would you trust a Moskvich 3e over a Tesla or BYD? Drop your answer in the comments. We're reading every single one. And if you enjoy stories that challenge the mainstream narrative, don't just watch, join us. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the next big disruption might be even closer than you think.